Hey everyone, we are the Gratitude Girls.
The Gratitude Girls are in the house. Hi, Lori.
Hi, Catherine.
How are you doing?
I am doing great. How are you?
I'm good. I've been stalking you on social media. I'm so happy to see all the wonderful things that you've been doing. It's funny what people's lives look like when you read about it. And then when you talk with them, it's like, wow, you're a real superstar. My goodness, I love what you do. So I'm happy to be here tonight in our Gratitude Girls private coaching and training group. Really excited to cover this information tonight. I know we're going to talk for a couple of minutes, but I'm thinking maybe for some of our new members, maybe we can give them like a little bit of background. What do you think?
Yeah, definitely. So, any of the new members, we have been doing this about almost a year and a half now. So, the first year, all of an hour worth of training every single Monday night in the group, in the history. So, you can look through the group and check through all the past posts. And then this year, we decided to start that we do about 15 minutes of in depth training. And then we do some small group coaching on the side offline. So you can go to Zoom and then put in the ID, Lori Delk, all lowercase, no spaces, LAURIEDELK. And then you can join us for some like one-on-one training, but it just depends on how many people are there. So how many people hop on with us, and then we go over that. And then you can also go to GratitudeGirls.com/coaching to see our other options if you want some more actual personal one-on-one training and things like that.
Awesome. And you know what they say, that you are the sum of the 6 people that you hang out with. So if you like this group and what you see, and you want to change your sphere of influence, then hang out with us more. We love that you're here with us once a week, and we love the questions that we get during the week. But if you want to hang out a little bit more, if you go to gratitudegirls.com/coaching, we have some new things for you. If you've never tried them all, then they're all new. There are some things you haven't tried. And yeah, I just want to throw a little hint here, like try us on for size. Not going to say anymore. I'll let you go and find it. Yeah, we get to talk about all the fun things that we're doing. And we'd like to, I'll let me introduce myself. My name is Catherine Asaro Myers. I'm broadcasting to you live tonight from Niagara-on-the-Lake, Ontario, Canada. Keep your eye on the bouncing rah-rah. You never know where we're going to be. I'm here with my awesome partner, Lori Delk. Radecki. We're going to have to change your login for Zoom.
It just makes it easier. Everybody knows.
No, I know. Go ahead and spell Lori Delk Radecki, like spelling Catherine Asaro Myers. Hence the rah-rah. Okay. Yeah, I understand, Lori. We got that. Thank you so much for facilitating us in all that we do on the technical end and the aspect of all the things that I don't do. I wanted to talk about uncovering pain tonight and how this pertains to a sale. Now you think about uncovering pain. What does something hurt? Sometimes in the course of the sale, yes, it hurts. And what happens is it hurts until we uncover it. I'll give you a quick true story. Today, someone showed me their mic and they said, "Can you help me with my mic?" And we were in a networking group where you give your business pitch. And she took her pitch and decided to ask me this question. I was in the room with a bunch of other people. And she said, "I have the same mic as you." It actually wasn't the same. It was the same company. And I said, "Can you show it to me?" And she did this. And I said, "Can you show it to me?" And she did this. And I said, "Can you show me the whole mic?" And when she lifted it up, I saw that the cord was wrapped all around tight. And it occurred to me that it was not connecting. She said it worked fine and then it stopped. So I said, "Could you please unravel the cord And she said, but it doesn't work. That was her pain. I said, but could you please unravel it and plug it in? And she said, you are a genius. So I said 2 sentences and it took me 5 seconds. I uncovered the pain and solved it. And then I said to her, how do you expect me to scale that? That 4-second piece of information that she brought to me that I said, can I see it? And she said, keep doing it. So uncover the pain. Do you have any examples of that, Lori?
So I do. One thing that I thought of when you were saying that was a situation of this guy, and he worked for a corporation. And so in the corporation, they had a problem. It was an electrical problem or something, and something had went out. So they have one of those big boxes that's like 4 foot tall, 3 foot wide, with all full of all kinds of electrical stuff in there, right? And so they called the guy, the specialist, to come out and fix the problem. And the specialist came out, listened to the clients of what their problem was, opened up the panel, turned one screw, shut the panel, and was done. And he gave them a bill for like $1,500. And the boss guy was like, this is ridiculous. I sat there and watched you. You just literally turned a screw. And he said, but did it fix it? Well, yeah, it did it. But it took you not even 1 minute. It took you 2 seconds to do that. And he said, but how long did it take me to learn which screw it was for me to turn? Right? So he could unturn it and then let the CEO figure it out, right? But it's all his years of training got to him to where, and not that you had years of training to know to unwind a cord, but it's just the saying of somebody saying, well, it was so simple. It was so quick. You figured it out like that. But yet a lot of times someone from the inside doesn't see what they need to see, even if they might know what to do, but they don't see what they need to see because they're in the box. And that's where like a coach can come in from outside the box and see in with fresh eyes and say, try this. And if you appease them.
Thank you. Oh my gosh, I love you. And to speak to that, the gentlemen that were in that group, because they were all sort of techie guys there, what they all said was, I can't believe that you didn't get into a technical response and you said, show me. Because they said, I would have given her a technical response as to why something without taking the basic show me. Don't tell me, show me. So it's important what you said. The experience that I have is not to sit in my chair, but to sit in your chair. And my decades of experience teach me not to answer because I should answer, but to assess. So to uncover the pain means not to say what I know, but to see what you see, and then, and only then, take it to the step where you can go to next. When someone's speaking to you and you say, just tell me in English, please. And that's where the experience comes in knowing how to take that. And actually, it's a good idea when you do have a lot of knowledge, instead of giving it, to allow the person to easily digest it. Because when someone's invested in the conversation, even when they have a little stake in, oh, let me see, they learn more than you just spewing it at them. Sometimes you want a quick answer, just fix my flat tire. Don't tell me how you're going to fix it. I get that. Totally. But there are situations where uncovering the pain, like Lori said, you have the knowledge and the expertise to do it in a nanosecond or 4 seconds or 5 seconds. How do you scale that? Well, you basically tell people it's not how long it's going to take me to do this, but we're going to get it done. And in sales, we really need to know that there is value in what we do. We don't want to devalue what we're saying. You know, when you say to someone, hey, what will it take for me to make this sale with you? What do you want me to do? What can I throw in? Is there something I can put into that to sweeten the pot? You know, that's diluting your basic chicken soup recipe with water. I'm just giving it to food because I'm on a juicing thing. Think about the times that you may devalue something that you actually want someone to pay for. So if I tell you that this book has a value of $100, but what will it take for me to give you this book? For me to get you to buy this book? What should I do? Should I throw in this pen? And then if you want, should I throw this in too? Because now I'm taking the value of the book that was $100 and I'm giving these things that have some value and I'm diminishing that. So I recommend and I invite you to think about the value that you're holding in your hand. Right, Lori? Why discount it?
Right. Yes, exactly. And if it is a certain value, you know, to you or to the company or whatever, then that's it. When you say, well, you're going to discount it, you're going to, well, I'll give you part of my commissions back, or I'll give you, you know, whatever you want to give them. Or if you, you know, if you make your decision right now before midnight tonight, you know, because this sale's going to go away. And a lot of salespeople I see do that, right? You know, make your decision by midnight tonight, or this sale's going to go away forever. And then how many salespeople do you see come back? Lots of even top leader salespeople I've seen this with. They send you the emails and, you know, do it now or it's going to go away forever. And then next week you see something else, right? Or 3 days later. And of course, they say by overwhelming demand, we're going to offer it again, you know, or we're going to extend it or whatever, rather than just sticking to your word. And that's one huge thing, I think, is sticking to your word of what you say, you know. And if you're going to say that it's going to end and you're never going to offer it again, then end it and don't ever offer it again.
Yep. Good point. Really good points. So think about that when you're taking care of your sales funnel and how you do things. Work your numbers, uncover the pain, diagnose, present the right solution. Sales, there are two kinds of sales. The sales you do make and the sales you don't make. Those are it. You make them and you don't make them. There's no in between. Now, we're not trying to be hard on you. Just trying to give you some clarity on the sale. You want to move and don't beg for the sale, right? It's not a good idea. It's not professional. Let's talk about, do you ask questions in a sale? You know, Lori, who's got the upper hand when it comes to questions? We know that when you're asking questions that you have the upper hand. You know, you can say control if you want, but the upper hand meaning that you're in the front. You're in front of the line there.
Right. You're like in control of the situation, right? You're controlling the conversation, which is also going to help you to maintain your confidence in that situation, right? You're monitoring it. You're controlling it as to what is going to be said, and make sure that your questions are open-ended, not yes or no type, able to answer.
You know, James Muir has a really great book, The Close of the Sale. Is that what it's called? The Close of the Sale, The Art of the Close.
Closing the sale, I think.
I have it right here. The Perfect Close. Here it is. Okay. James Muir's book, The Perfect Close. So James Muir says, make the question about timing. Would it make sense, Lori, if I give you a call back next week and we can talk about the purchase of this new airplane that you're looking at? Would next week be a good time? Would it make sense? Now, Lori's going to say, oh, next week is not good. I'm buying a boat. She's not saying she's not buying a plane. So she's going to answer based on her life and her time. So if it's not a good time next week, she'll say, so Lori, would it make sense if I call you next Tuesday if I want to be like this? If we talk on Tuesday, would it make sense to do that, to talk about this plane?
Right, absolutely. And then the person has the ability to either say, yes or no, I'm not available on Tuesday, but, I've got some openings between 2 and 4 on Thursday.
Right. We don't get a no. You're talking about time. And James makes it very crystal clear that the perfect close is not about, do you want this? Yes or no? Do you want to buy this diamond ring? Yes or no? Do you want to talk about this? Do you want to buy this diamond ring? Do you want to discuss it today? Or would you like to talk about it next week? Because when you buy a diamond ring, have you ever bought one? I don't really think I ever checked my bank account when I bought a diamond ring. I never check in to see how much money do I have. I know how much money I have when I look at a diamond ring. I know if I can buy it or not. I don't have to check anything. I don't have to get back to you in 2 days because if it's a one of a kind ring, it's going to be gone. So think about when you make those purchases. Like, I want that. So I'm getting that. Or you go to see a house and you see 25 people lined up in front of that house. And you think, well, I think I'll just go home and I'll call my accountant and I'll call my sister because she's bought 2 houses in her life and this is my first. And maybe when I come back, those 25 people will all have changed their mind and not put a bid on the house. Right? So when you're making a sale and somebody's making that purchase, don't think that they really have to go and think about it. If they're ready to buy, you will know that instantaneously. The buyer will appear. So engage in conversation for thought provoking. Oh my gosh, I made up a new word. For thought provoking questions. I was going to say thought provoking. I don't know what that means. For thought provoking questions. And when you open and engage and they're thought provoking, you better to do that than to keep going. The more you say, do you ever hear, the more you say, the less you make?
Right, yes. And like that, the good old saying, God gave you 2 ears and 1 mouth for a reason, right? So use them wisely. Listen more than you speak. Ask a question, leave it open ended, make it a clarifying question, though. Get them to help them ask the question in a way that's going to guide them to give you details when they answer. And the same thing, like open ended. Don't ever ask something that they can say just a simple yes or no to.
I want to share one more thing before we wrap up here. If you're speaking to someone, there is no reason why you can't have a pen, a book, a paper, whatever type of notes you take, whether they're audio, digital, whatever you do. It's okay to let the person know that what they're saying is important and you want to take notes. It's okay to say, let me just jot that down. Because if I am the customer and I'm telling you something and you're paying attention and you're writing those notes down, I'm going to feel really good about that. You're going to make me feel like I'm saying something important enough for you to take notice of it. And then when you ask the questions, because you're in control when you're asking the questions and you've taken notes, I can say, well, Lori, I understand that you just came back from Tahiti. I'm curious how that trip was. You were telling me how excited you were about it and you weren't available last month. Did you have a good time? Because I took notes to what you were saying. And I remembered, not to be cagey, like, so how was that trip? And now that you're back, we're going to talk about it, but more of an interest to build the relationship. Because when you tell someone something that you remember or you wrote down, they get blown away. I called a gentleman I hadn't spoken to in 4 years. He's a farmer. So I called a farmer tonight because I had to ask him a question. I wanted to go and buy from him. And I wrote in my phone, his daughter's birthday was March 17th. And I said, so your daughter Emily's birthday was March 17th. Happy belated birthday. And he said, he has an Australian accent and I can't do it. He says, how did you remember? I said, well, I put it in my phone. And he said, you took the time to put my daughter's birthday in your phone? And that blew him away. And I'm sure when he was telling me, I put that in. So take notes, refer back to them, and blow people away with your ability to follow up and follow through. The sale is made on the relationship. And the more you know about someone and the more that you pay attention to them, the happier they'll be. And when they're in that state of euphoric happiness, guess what? They're going to buy the diamond ring.
Yes, definitely. And when you also take notes, you tell the person that, you know, subliminally that they're important. What they say is important. And you're taking notes to remember that. You know, I mean, we just went through a process of interviewing about 20 different home builders to do all the renovations and remodeling of our Columbia house. And it's not just a bathroom or a bedroom. We are doing the entire house, tearing it down basically to the brick and rebuilding it. We're redoing all the electrical, all the plumbing. Every room is getting a new look. We are also adding on. And so it's not a small process, right? It's not a small project. I had a note that typed out, covered a full sheet of paper all the way across of what we're doing. Full sheet typed out. So I had that and I was going over, I had emailed that or texted it to each builder that came out. So they knew up front what I was going to talk to them about. Then when they came out for us to talk to about it and interview, we went over it again. Some of them took notes while I was talking. As we walked through the rooms, they took measurements. They wrote those down. Some just walked with me and listened and then left. So which ones do you think that I ended up going with? Right?
Good point. Right. And now everybody learns differently, but you definitely set the tone on how you want to make sure that they're not going. Is that what you said? I don't really remember that. And in the sale, it's important to make the customer feel that the customer is being heard. And that's what they did. And this is what we want to instill in you, to make sure that the customer is feeling heard, that you allow that customer, that you give them space, that you can't really make them or allow them, that you can set the stage and let them step into that. It's a great, safe place and you're paying attention and you're listening. If you're on your cell phone, if you're texting, if you're taking a call in front of a customer, if you're rolling your eyes, if you're looking somewhere else, if you're not doing what that customer needs, if they're auditory, if they're visual, like learn the cues, learn if they go like this, learn what they need to do in order to be heard and to hear you. Once you know how to read that, you know, would it make sense? Like, would it make sense for us to go into our private room right now so that we can answer the questions of our group? You know, would it make sense to do that? Yeah, I think so. I think it would make a lot of sense. And that's where you can come on down, come on over into our private dining room, our private coaching room, and ask us your questions. Now, even if you have a question about a mic, it's never too silly because you'll learn something. You will learn something about what's going on in your business. If you come on over there, ask us, and we'll give you not one, but 2 points of view, not from one part of the world, but 2 different countries. And we've been all over the world. So we'll give you this perspective that you just wouldn't expect. We're going to blow you away over there in a good way. So Lori, I would like to say, unless you have something else to add, that the perfect close and the sale and uncovering the pain and knowing when to ask the right questions and know to stop talking. That's what I'm going to do right now. All of this is very important in the art of the sale.
Yes, absolutely. So come join us in our private room and we will see you guys next week. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.